In this lesson, we're going to talk about a few concerns or issues that you may face when using images or photos in the web pages you create. We've made web pages we've shared with you, and you've made web pages that use the img tag to show a picture, image, or photo on the web page you create. In this course, you've used the website or web tool CodePen.io to create the images. But it's possible you may have already used other tools or sites like WordPress to create images. Whatever tool or site you use, you'll need to find images that you can use in the websites you create, a URL that is the source for the img tag you use in your website. In some cases, there may be concerns with the person, organization, or group that created the photo you display on a web page you create. The creator has certain rights, called copyrights, and you'll want to respect these. In some cases, there may be storage concerns. Where are the images stored that you've included on your web page, and who pays for that storage? You may want to store your own images so you can link to them in web pages you create. There are similar concerns with videos, though videos hosted on YouTube are very easy to include in the web pages you create. We'll briefly talk about usage rights for images or photos you find online. We'll give you a very basic understanding and urge you to explore more on your own. Some images and photos are copyrighted. This means specific rights are held by the person or organization that created the images. You should respect these rights, thinking about rights you'd like to have for images you create. Copyright laws are different and vary from one country to another. You should likely have a basic understanding of copyright in your own country if you're going to make web pages that might have a commercial value. Typically, if you're making a web page for personal use, like the pages you create for this course, you don't need to be concerned with copyright laws. However, you do want to understand the usage rights and know that for images that are copyrighted, there are some rights. Many images are in the public domain and are not copyrighted. The flag from Brazil that has been displayed on this page is in the public domain in the United States, in Brazil, and in many other countries. Images in the public domain have no rights associated with them, and you can use them freely. Many images can be found using Google Image Search, and you can fine-tune the search to specify that you want images that can be reused. The Wikimedia Commons is a website and storage area where images that are more free to use can be found. Some of these images have what are called Creative Commons licenses, which specify how you can use the images. Once again, for your own personal web pages, you typically don't need to be concerned with these rights, but it's still a good idea to have a basic understanding of image rights. Some Creative Commons images are not copyrighted. Some have usage rights that allow you to reuse them for non-commercial purposes. The logo on the right specifies non-commercial use in the European Union or EU. Other licenses require that you license your own work in a similar way. These are called share-alike licenses. The logo on the left represents such a license. In this course, we try to use images that are in the public domain. In addition to usage rights, using images on web pages you create may have image storage and hosting concerns. For example, suppose you want to include an image of the Chinese flag on a web page you create. You may use Google Image Search to find a URL that you can use with the source argument of an img tag, and you may take steps to ensure that the image of the flag you find is in the public domain, so there are no usage rights concerns. The URL shown here is for just such an image. You've done great. You've properly concerned about usage rights, and you've created a really nice web page. But suppose 1 million people view your web page. That means the flag image is seen by 1 million people. It also means that the flag image is sent from the website which stores it across the internet to 1 million users that might be scattered all over the world. Someone pays for hosting the image and for serving it to everyone, even if it's not you. This could be a concern that you need to understand. When you use a URL in a web page you create as part of an img tag, you've included what's called an inline link from your page to another web page. Inline linking is also called hot linking and means that the image is stored on another site, but visually appears in the site you create. Typically, you don't need to worry about copyright and usage concerns for your own personal pages. However, if you create a web page with lots of views or lots of traffic, there may be storage costs or server costs that might be a concern you should understand. Though typically it's not something to worry about for the pages you create in the course or on your own for personal use. When you want to include images in the pages you create, it's easy to use Google Image Search to find images online. You'll need to find the URL for the image to use in the inline link for the IMG tag. You can typically find the URL by right-clicking, sometimes this is control-click, when using a web browser like Chrome or Firefox, and then copying the image URL and pasting it into the HTML you're creating for your own page. Some websites won't allow you to hotlink to images stored on them. For example, Pixabay hosts many public domain images, but will not allow you to link to them in the web pages you create. You should be sure to test the web pages you create so that they work. You may use incognito or private browsing to be sure that you are behaving like an anonymous user rather than being logged in as yourself, for example, when looking at a web page. When you can, get someone else's help in viewing any web pages you create to be sure that they see the images.